Here's a fun fact for you. Out of 5,000 mixed population, they were asked the question, who is the funniest podcaster? And again, it was me. You guys are so funny now. You guys are so funny now.
Thank you, Maria Humphreys, for that extraordinary fun fact. I love the fact that you're contributing. You're making fun facts here. You guys check out Strong Body, Strong Soul, Maria Humphreys. She is a sorceress, a life coach, a brain massager. She is a wizard. She's most likely from a different planet. She's very creative, and she has a wonderful family. Check out her Instagram sometimes. Team Humphreys. Team Humphreys, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't it sound like a sitcom, The Humphreys? Meet the Humphreys. Ba-da-da-da-da. Who is here? Who is there? Oh, I know it's da-da-da-da. The Humphreys. Meet the Humphreys. That would be great. Meet the Humphreys. That would be, yeah, Meet the Humphreys. They're going here, they're going there. Where are they going? No one really knows. Meet the Humphreys. They seem like a happy family, a very good ensemble, teamwork kind of family. As the wise folks say, teamwork makes the dream work. Think about any dream, any idea that you had that you thought was a good idea, and someone said yes to it, and they added on to it. So the idea, you can tell in crowds, I think we talked about this before, where someone will say something and then someone goes, awkward. They'll sit there in silence and then someone's got to say that. Someone says awkward. And they're pointing out their uncomfortability with either silence or what I think is that they're really actually shaming themselves for dropping the ball on keeping it up in the air. Because any idea can be kept up in the air. I substitute for Darren Toonder sometimes for these after-school improv programs. We'll teach the kids improv. And, it's interesting. I'm just thinking now, before I went up to substitute teach the other one last time, I wrote yes and on my arm. I wrote on my arm. I got in the car, and Darren... And I showed him my arm. I go, look at yes and, baby. And he goes, oh, do you have your lesson plan? And I said, no, I don't have a lesson plan. He goes, oh, I emailed it to you. And I go, oh, I'll check it. And I looked at my email. He sent it to a different email. And the whole lesson was about yes and, of course. Astounding. I had my Rainbow Moonstone Synchronicity rock in my pocket. So one of the things he talks a lot about is there are not necessarily any bad ideas. They're just unexplored ideas. And that's true in any case. That would be interesting, is to take any of the ideas that people thought were dumb or stupid or that didn't work, or you could take a bunch of examples from, let's say, parties where people said particular things and people just kind of let it drop. Well, I'll tell you, if that was Monty Python there, they would have made something extraordinary out of that. If it was the whose line is it anyway, guys, they would have made something extraordinary out of it. If it was geez, even the people I went to school with and I was in improv groups with, if you give an idea to them, you just keep exploring it. You keep going deeper into those details and finding more and more things about it. And the funniness, the comedic aspect is just a byproduct of the idea of diving deeper into this idea and finding out more about it, going on this big journey, going through this quest. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Tell me more, what are you all about? Tell me more, it's a pig with a snout. Tell me more, what kind of sandwich, bum, are we having today? Bum. Just ask Shaggy and Scooby. Row. That's one of the analogies, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about it many occasions. The idea of the Scooby-Doo sandwich. Yes and, grow it. It'd be interesting to sit in as a fly on a wall in some of these business meetings. I always hear about how soul-crushing the business meetings are. Why is that? What is it? If business executives really wanted to improve the efficiency, imagination, exploration of their business meetings and have them not be this drab thing that people are like, oh no, another meeting, but it becomes this fun thing like a trampoline room. Holy cow, could you imagine? If every meeting started with 10 minutes of just silent meditation, they play a theta wave 432Hz. Actually, no, that'd be between 5 and 7 hertz. That's right. That's what I was reading about. Or no, was it 4 and 5 hertz? 5 and 7 hertz is what the brain oscillates at. I think, and it was saying that the Earth is like 7.5 or something. I don't know. Something like that. So the idea is that they're just unexplored ideas. And so you put some people in a room who just want to grow ideas and go yes and yes and yes and grow it. It's a wonderful way to break down the ego. It's a wonderful way to treat one another's ideas as if they are the best golden idea that they've ever heard. Man. Growing it. The satisfaction that comes from that. So it's just very important to surround yourself with those people in your life who care most about giving you the wind under the wings. Sometimes we're the kite, sometimes we're the wind. Sometimes we're the kite creating the wind. Wings need wind. I made a song a while ago called Wings Need Wind. I might have played it on here before, actually. Wings need wind. When I find that again, I'll put it back in here so you can hear it. It's the idea of, like, you know, the kite needs the wind. Parachute needs the wind. The hang glider needs the wind. The flying squirrel suit needs the wind. Who's the first person who had the guts to wear the first flying squirrel suit, human flight suit? Because that's amazing. I mean, that's human flight right there. That's real life human flight. Gliding. Which reminds me of Brazil, which is what I saw recently. Terry Gilliam film. I'm going down this Terry Gilliam rabbit hole now. Alejandro Jodorowsky. Phenomenal. Going down a rabbit hole, those guys. Zero Theorem, phenomenal. Similar elements to Brazil. I'm going to look back at Dr. Parnassus. 12 Monkeys. That's another good one that I got to look at. Time Bandits. Fear and Loathing, of course. Baron Munchausen. Oh, that's such a good one. Baron Munchausen. Remember, for one of my birthdays, my dad took me and my buddies to see Time Bandits in a theater. So cool. I can't remember if Time Bandits came out after Star Wars or before. After, I think, right? But Little People. I remember seeing Time Bandits. That was one of the first times I became... Well, probably Return of the Jedi, too. Return of the Jedi and Time Bandits. Well, of course, Wizard of Oz. How could I forget Wizard of Oz? Little People. Yeah, Terry Gilliam. He really explores down the avenues of the common trappings of corporate America. Signs and forms, like, oh, sign here, sign this, here's a form you got to fill out. All the paperwork. Everybody giving the responsibility up to some other, upper management. They tell us what to do. Upper management. You better know, upper management. There's always that aspect. And then you get to upper management and you see even upper management doesn't know what they're doing. They're taking orders from someone else. A lot of times they're leading with fear tactics. Like in Brazil, you see the manager. He's like, Mr. Lowry. Like he tries to be this very... Kind of reminds me of the mayor in Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a phenomenal depiction of politicians. You know, he's like, "Hello, everybody," and then he's like, "Jack." You know, he's completely relying on Jack to help him get through. That's kind of like with Brazil. The management really relies on Lowry to get him out of this mess. Lowry keeps having dreams and sees this dream woman. In his dreams, the only place that offers him solace. And you just see, he just falls into circumstance. Things that are tied together. You're going, oh no. Mr. Lowry. And he's, he just... Boy, the thought-provoking films of those guys. That would just be great. To put a film festival of thought-provoking cinema. Thought-provoking cinema. You got David Lynch, Jodorowsky, Fellini, some Andy Kaufman clips. Wow. I would say you'd throw Un Chien Andalou in there by Salvador Dali. You gotta. Probably I Heart Huckabees. That would have to go in there. And not just thought-provoking, not just the, I'll tell you what it is. Thought-provoking in terms of philosophical curiosity. This like, what, head? We'd have to put head in there. Monkey's head. Brazil. They Live. Other philosophical movies that are out there. Maybe even Pi. Memento. Yeah, Darren Aronofsky and Christopher Nolan. Those guys have got to have, those films in there. I mean, I know Inception is big time, and Stellar is also Interstellar. The Fountain. Let's see. Oh, boy, so many good ones. I got to rewatch The Fountain. I got to rewatch that one. So much good thought-provoking. Plus, I think episodes of The Prisoner, the old TV show The Prisoner. More on this later. Thanks for listening.
So anyway, this this morning I made the part where it scrolls through and knows that when you're clicking on what part of the map. So there's 12 pages now, but there's going to be probably more like 40 pages of maps because they're going to skip back and forth. Yeah. So you'll have more.
Inspirado Projecto. This is your good pal, Jack Nicholson. Thank you for strapping my head into the doobly-doobles and dobbly-dobbles.
This is incredible. There's right now a train documentary on television. I walked in here and David Bowie was watching it. This is astounding. Check it out.
Behind the driver's cab is an 18-foot-long diesel-electric engine. 16 9-inch wide pistons pump out 4,500 horsepower. But the diesel engine doesn't drive the wheels directly. Instead, it spins a shaft inside a massive 7.5-ton generator to produce over 3 million watts of electricity, enough to power 6,000 homes. This flows down into the wheel assemblies to 6 2.7-ton electric motors. Each motor powers 2.
This thing is so fascinating. They're showing like these crazy computer-generated graphics of this train, these insides of the train. And what's so especially astounding about this is that Tommy posted some story on his Instagram about how he's obsessed with trains. He's like, oh my gosh, I go crazy when I see trains. And then I talked with Phil before about it, and he said that he too loves watching trains. And I too, I'm not obsessed, but I gotta say, there's something comforting about trains. Something very comforting about them. Look at all these gears and stuff. This is fascinating. 51778. 517. 517. That's synchronicity and infinity. 1 plus 7. That's 8. 8 on the side is infinity. I mean, I've been seeing so many incredible synchronicities throughout the day. It's been nuts. It's been crazy. Yeah. So the guy that I met with his lady friend in Del Taco with the guys, I gave him a card and I told him that we're playing out there. We're gonna play out, or they were like, oh, where are you playing next? We go, oh, Alex's bar in Long Beach, and then he goes, oh, I live right out there, and I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be on the 29th. So, I'm like, how crazy is that they just happen to be here, and that they live in that area. They know all about that area, and something just drew me to them, and so I've been giving more and more of those opportunities their chance to shine without emotional attachment to it. It's a really fun thing. I gotta say, that probably has a lot to do with these gateway experiences that I've been listening to, taking baths and listening to this, and just like they're like 40 minutes, and you just close your eyes, prop your head up, and just kind of let your body float in there like a sensory deprivation tank, and just close your eyes. I'll just breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth, and I breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth, breathe in through my nose, just over and over, and just, and then sometimes I'd have that, my body would jerk, like, okay, time to go to sleep, which is what happens when you're I learned in psychology, it's called the nocturnal jerk, and it's like when you feel that you're stepping off a curb or you're falling or something, and you go, whoa, and you jerk. When that happens, it means that you are slowly close to that point. You're about to drift off in a deep sleep. It's about to kick it off. It's like it's the, I don't want to say warning signal, but it's like, it's letting you know. It's like it's like the, what do they call it, the kill switch or whatever. It's that ping. It's like letting you know, intruder has breached the border. Intruder. It's like one of those things where, there's like this invisible, lets you know. So as soon as, you feel that jolt, you go, okay, do I want to fall asleep right now? It's giving you that option. It's going, do you want to sleep right? Do you want to fall asleep right now? So the nocturnal jerk happens right when you're about to go into it, and so that's what would happen when I was listening to this gateway experience. It's on YouTube. Look up gateway experience, and then I think free hypnosis, and it was this soothing older guy's voice, and it was just really, really, really interesting. So ever since I've been doing that, things have been syncing up things have been syncing up at an alarming rate. It's really interesting. Then I'm, of course, applying the techniques that I've been learning from Neville Goddard, and it's just really cool. I'm very happy to see how things are evolving here. Everyone's really happy. We had a great show tonight, and man, it was just astounding to be a part of such an incredible experience. Wow, I'm about to take a shower. That's what I'm about to do. But I figure I might as well sit here and talk to you a little bit. So, things are happening at a Fibonacci rate. When we notice the Fibonacci rate increasing, we encourage it, we trust in it, we give ourselves to it. We say, you're moving, you're grooving, I want to contribute to that good vibe. There's golden rule happening. There's cooperation happening. There's reciprocation happening. Everybody's working together to help the madness unfurl. And wow, it's funny. Everyone's going full throttle and fully believing in themselves, so much so that they just trust that their knowledge in their particular chosen investigations and expertises, they trust in it. They trust that it's going to, it's just going to flow through. They trust it. They trust it's going to flow through. And when they do that, well, now they trust it to flow through, and now they trust it to flow through, and now it's an unfiltered. Imagine like a spray, like a hose, like earlier when I was talking with that guy out there on the golf course with the hose. There's this, like, imagine like a hose of like good vibes coming through, and if you just open up yourself, it can just it's shooting the good vibes, and you don't know exactly where all those little droplets go. Maybe the wind carries it off someplace, but imagine each of those little tiny micro droplets filled with just this pure, awesome nutrition, and you don't know ever how it's gonna grow, how it's gonna take a series of reflections in order for it to grow. Now, what are we gonna keep reflecting at its direction? It's imagining, like, a lot of times I'll use the analogy of Legend, the movie Legend. I'll use that as an example because oh shit. Don't tell me here. Alright, let's see what we can do. 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 How about we see what we can do? I'll tell you what. How about we see what we can do? How about we see what we can do? Here's something you can do. I'll see what we can do, okay? I'll tell you what I can do. I'll tell you what I can tell you, okay? I'll tell you what you can do. I'll see what I can do, okay? I'll see what I can do. See what I can do for you,
Okay, I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. What I can do for you. Okay, I'll see what we can do for you. What you can do. I'll see what I can do for you. Okay, I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
Okay, sir, can you please close the air duct and get the hell out of here? I'm going to disrobe and I'm gonna take a shower. Jack Nicholson, what are you doing here, dude?
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what you can do. You see what I can do. I'll see what you can do.
I've learned so much on this trip. So much on this trip. About the camaraderie, about reflecting the greatness through each other, about inside jokes, using those inside jokes on stage. It's you never know what's going to happen. You just never know what's going to happen. Allowing for those possibilities. Allowing for that great imagination to make its way through. Opening up the floodgates and going, yeah, let's do it. It becomes this amazing thing. It becomes astounding. Alright, we'll talk more about this later. But thank you for hanging out with me on this journey. That little piece you heard there was from when I was hanging out with Yachtley Crew during our Batten Down the Hatches tour. I still got about an hour and a half of little giblets of that'll be continued to be sprinkled about. But for now, this idea came to me. All I'm gonna do is all I wanna do, and that's all I'm gonna do right now. All I'm gonna do is all I wanna do, and that's all I'm gonna do now. All I'm gonna do is all I wanna do, and that's all I'm gonna do now. All I'm gonna do is all I wanna do, and that's all I'm gonna do now. And that's all I'm gonna do now. All I'm gonna do is all I wanna do, and that's all I'm gonna do now. All I wanna do is all I wanna do, and all I wanna do is now. All I wanna do is now. All I'm gonna do is all I wanna do. All I'm gonna do right now. All I'm gonna do is all I wanna do, and that's all I'm gonna do right now.
John and I both grew up closer than most brothers probably do. For those of you that don't know, we were both born on the same exact day, just 2 years apart. A lot of us kind of consider each other a lot more like twins than most brothers. Obviously, there's lots of similarities.
Did you hear that? This wedding video that I'm editing, these brothers were born on the exact same day, 2 years apart. Check it out.
John and I both grew up closer than most brothers probably do. For those of you that don't know, we were both born on the same exact day, just 2 years apart. A lot of us kind of consider each other a lot more like twins than most brothers. Obviously, there's lots of similarities.
So how crazy is that? How interesting is that, huh? It's like having twins born 2 years apart. That's really quite fascinating, isn't it? I mean, it would be really interesting to see what would happen if they did like a study with those guys and a study with twins and find out what kind of interesting, what kind of intriguing similarities would line up with them. I gotta say, the guys in the wedding video, they do look similar. They do look similar. The one guy talking on here is taller, but just get a load of this again.
John and I both grew up closer than most brothers probably do. For those of you that don't know, were both born on the same exact day, just 2 years apart. A lot of us kind of consider each other a lot more like twins than most brothers. Obviously, there's lots of similarities.
So, there you have it, folks. If you have any stories like this, if you are a twin, if you were a formerly conjoined twin, or if you are currently conjoined twin, if you were born on your brother or sister's birth date, or your parents' birth date, I'm very curious to hear what kind of intriguing similarities you share, what kind of insight, what kind of, maybe you speak, maybe you like, you got the telepathic, as Bashar would say, telepathy. You're empathizing with each other. You're able to tune into that same frequency. Telepathy. So, send it to me, please. I'd love to hear about it. If you're on Anchor, you know how to reach me. Just send me a message on Anchor. If you want to send it, email it to me. Email me your audio. Heck, if you play in a band, if you do spoken word, if you like to just get soundscapes out there in the world, I've been getting some great ones, and you guys have been hearing it right here on this podcast. This is you, folks. This is you sending it to me, and then I play it back for you. I mean, I want to share this stuff. I want to share your stuff with people. Send me a haiku. 575. 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Send me a haiku. Send me what are you going to dress up for Halloween as? Are you going to show up? Oh, November 4th, by the way, November 4th, we're having a screening of Bloody Bobby. It's going to be a cross between a costume contest. There's going to be a DJ. So basically, there's going to be some artists there selling their artwork. There's going to be some DJs spinning some haunting music. And then we're going to have the screening of Bloody Bobby. And then afterwards, a costume contest. So costumes are highly encouraged, okay? All of you cosplay folks, you got these astounding costumes. Some of you make these amazing costumes, and the only times you get a chance to show them off is on Halloween. Is at a Halloween party. Is at a convention. Utilize this as that opportunity. Some of you podcasters live in the Los Angeles area. I would love to meet you in person. This is a great opportunity for us to meet in person and for you to podcast from it too if you want. This is a perfect opportunity for anyone to podcast from this event. Maybe some of you are just more into listening to podcasts. Maybe you don't really make your own podcast. But maybe you like to do videography. Maybe you like to record stuff. That would be awesome. Maybe you like to go live on Instagram a lot. Maybe you like to go live on Facebook. Maybe you like to pull out your Periscope and record on there. Bring it with. I mean, God, bring it with. It would be awesome to see you broadcast from there. So, it'd be great to meet you. Meat Clown Industries is sponsoring it. They're putting the whole thing together, and they asked me if I wanted to screen my movie. They sponsored Bloody Bobby, so they did our catering, and as a result of doing catering on the set for free, we agreed to have one of the main characters wear a Meat Clown t-shirt. So this movie, it's like a grindhouse comedy horror film. It's got grit, it's got romance, it's got blood and guts, it's got some comedy, it's got some references to other things that you might recognize. So we'd love to see you there. Only $5, $5, a whole lot of entertainment. And you might even get a chance to meet Lumi. Who knows? Lumi and the Wizard of L.A., Reverend Mark, they might show up. You've heard me interview these guys. You've heard me podcast with these guys. You too can meet them live. I wouldn't be surprised if the Wizard of L.A. brought his glowing sticks on stage. How cool would that be? All right, folks. More on this later. And thank you for listening to Inspirado Projecto.
The propaganda and agitation drones of the MeClown marketing department have for years led us to believe the notion that MeClown itself has been ingrained into our genetics ever since a very specific moment in our evolution as a species. Primitive human, fatigued from a hungry day of hunting, finally satiated by a belly of delicious, freshly cooked meat product, begins to act a fool. And the rest is history. The MeatClown Meat Solution. Not the first, won't be the last. But the reality of it is, you can order anytime from www.meatclownbuttons.bigcartel.com. It's MeatClown approved.
It's Superhero, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
So we had a wonderful time today. I'll tell you about it, more of it in a second.
It was a stark reminder that even the best technology cannot fully tame this landscape. All that engineers can do is limit the risks.
They took that occasion to learn from it and put in the more rigorous surveillance, more rigorous procedures.
It's why high rail operators like Stefan are so important.
That's my lifeline. Rail inspectors, if they don't do a good job, we don't know what we're rolling on. We can rely on them. Sometimes get trapped in their ego.
40 miles away from Brendan's freight train, Stefan has been dispatched again to check that the line is safe. He's heading north, and the train is coming south, directly towards him. Stefan is on high alert. It's a notorious part of the route.
So you heard a 3-part chorus. It was so good, I'm going to have to eat another one. 3-part harmony. So we had on stage today a mermaid. Hannah the Mermaid is her name. She was hired at the event. She came up on stage. It worked awesomely. And then a couple days ago, I played Lobster Rock, and there was the crab and the lobster. These are dreams coming true before my very eyes. The surreality. It's like becoming the Blue Men Group meets Monty Python of yacht rock. That's what's happening right now. It's intriguing. It's so intriguing. And now a word from our sponsor.
And the train are at risk. And Stefan must investigate the cause of the alarm quickly. Brendan's fully loaded southbound train is now just...
It's incredible. I never knew so much about trains. I'm watching it tonight. Oh my gosh. It was fun. Today was great. Pretty sure I didn't record anything embarrassing. It was at Sea Legs, which is interesting because my brother and my sister-in-law, Josh and Monica, had told me. Monica said, I was like, Josh, where's that place? They whittled it down, they realized it was called Sea Legs, and they were like, Yachtley Crew needs to play there. And so that seed was in my brain, and then at some point, I ended up going there with Jenny Christian, interesting, and I dropped off the Yachtley Crew card, and even through other ways before that, we heard that the Sea Leg guys, someone told them about us. And so, turns out that, Philly's friend is the one who got us this gig. Came through this completely unexpected circumstance. I mean, it's incredible the way this is happening for us. I just keep like diving more and more into the middle of this thing and realizing just the sheer magnitude of what it has the possibility of becoming. Yeah, that's what happens if we go like this. What happens if we shut that off? Ooh, interesting. When I look at my... Oh, that's pretty cool. That's very dramatic. I'm standing in the light right now. It's coming from the... It's coming from the... bathroom light. Standing in front of the mirror here. I got the beds back there. Oh, this feels good to stretch. Some interesting lights coming up on this thing. I want to experiment with light more. Behind me is a TV on, and it's rattling through the room. I'd love to explore more astounding revelations, but I should probably get to bed. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Bye. Goodbye.
Towards a tunnel. But just on the other side, Roadmaster Stefan is still investigating a system alarm that could signal landslide activity.
Uh-oh, landslide.
When the system is an emergency, you need to...
He can't risk the train plowing blindly into a potential landslide or his own vehicle. The train must be stopped
Put on your helmet.
regardless of cost.
I just had this idea, a funny idea, for a character named Mermaid. Maybe it's happened, but like an older lady, Mermaid. And Mermaid. She's an older mermaid that's found by some sailors. It's her first time ever seeing a human, human man, or human. And so let's say she's actually like, 7,000 years old. But she only looks 70. That's terrible. 98. So it's funny, she could be like, but yeah, I'm 7,000, but look, I'm only 98 in your Earth years. Like, don't sweat it, bub. Like, come on. I'm young, considering. But she's wrinkly, she's being sexy, a siren perhaps, tries to lure the sailors. And I'm like, oh, should I do this? She's 98. Should I capture her? I mean, what do? Do I become her friend? Does she... Of course, who knows what kind of crazy wisdom this woman might have? Who knows? I'm 7,000, but I'm only 98. So yeah, Mermaid. Mermaid coming to a theater near you.